Crossover sales have exploded in recent years, and this segment is now slowly, but surely, taking market shares from sedans and hatchbacks. Crossover SUVs are everywhere, and they are here to stay. There's no denying this fact. Crossovers have been the most popular cars in the US for a while now. Even in Europe, where people love their small, compact cars such as the Renault Clio and Volkswagen Golf, crossovers are proving to be very popular choices. Nowadays, gearheads have two big things to worry about. While the car world is preparing to say goodbye to the internal combustion engines, the takeover of crossover SUVs on our roads now seems inevitable. While most car lovers don't like these cars, we are, sadly, in the minority when it comes to the car buying public, and these cars are selling like hotcakes. We know that crossovers are popular, but what makes them so popular? That's the big question we try to answer. We'll just spill the beans right away. These cars are practical. Some crossovers have light off-road capabilities, which opens up new possibilities for most, and they are not as inefficient as one might think. Higher profits for manufacturers. Crossover SUVs are not that expensive to manufacture. They share a lot of parts with other cars in a brand's lineup, and the production costs are almost the same as building a hatchback or a sedan. However, these cars do have a certain markup. For example, if we take subcompact crossovers and subcompact sedans, as they are generally the cheapest options available for American car buyers, we can see that crossovers usually sell for 20% to 50% more than their sedan counterparts. That means there is a lot more potential profit for the manufacturers. Crossovers are marketed more. Another obvious reason why crossover SUVs are so popular is that they are being marketed more than regular cars. Because CUVs have higher profit margins, it's understandable why manufacturers market these cars more. The general public loves these cars. They are more practical than average passenger cars, safer, and more popular. So much so that Ford stopped passenger car production in the US, except for the Mustang. Having a good lineup of SUVs and CUVs just makes sense, because they are the real moneymakers for most manufacturers. So much so that even the coveted Mustang nameplate is not safe. At least Ford had the decency to make the Mustang Mach-E one of the best cars of 2021. Safety. SUVs have higher ride heights, which is a double-edged sword. One of the main selling points of SUVs was safety. While, yes, these cars were safer and have better vision, the older ones were also very prone to rolling over, because of the height. Crossovers, too, are taller than regular cars, but not to the same extent. This is important because they don't have the same happy dog tendency of showing their bellies anytime they get too excited. Also, the technology of our time makes it possible for us to make bigger cars safer for everyone in the traffic, which includes pedestrians and other drivers. This is why Mazda CX-5 is one of the safest cars on the roads right now. Empty nesters and new families buy crossovers. While the newest car buyers, the Gen Z, goes for cheaper and more fun sedans, families whose kids grew and left the home and the young adults who left their parents' home to start a new family choose crossover SUVs. Why? Well, it is a question with some obvious answers. Parents love crossovers because they sit higher on the road, and they are easy to get in and out of. New families love these cars because they are more practical than passenger cars. CUVs offer the necessary room to grow, and they can take a family of 3 with ease without ever feeling cramped. CUVs are practical. Practicality is one of the biggest selling points for crossovers. These vehicles can offer a station wagon type of practicality in a smaller and taller package, which works for so many people. Subcompact and compact crossovers are small, very usable in day-to-day city traffic. 2-box designs of the CUVs make them the ideal choice for those who want a little bit more space on the interior. CUVs offer more vertical cargo space, and if you fold the rear seats, you'll have a lot more room for whatever you need. CUVs can take a family of 2 or 3 and a dog through a weekend, and be ready for the commute duty on Monday, which is great. Crossover SUVs open a lot of new possibilities. Nowadays, most passenger cars have good ride quality. Sedans and hatchbacks work well on the road. However, when the road ends, you might want something a bit more substantial. Most people buy a Cuvs because they need a jack of all trades. Outdoor activities are getting more popular, especially since the COVID-19 pandemic. These activities are something fun to do without getting in contact with a lot of people. Some CUVs have surprising off-road capabilities. Also, these vehicles are a bit higher than regular ones, so they can go places where a passenger car might struggle. Fresh styling. Crossovers initially rose to prominence because they so closely resembled SUVs, but were considerably less expensive. The earliest incarnations of the current crop of crossovers were driven primarily by styling, and some of these vehicles have been around for more than a decade. Take, for example, the perky little Honda CR-V, which was a top-selling SUV before the term crossover was even coined. Honda has kept ahead of the trends and frequently refreshes the lineup's look, so even after all this time, the CR-V still lands in the top 5 of the Edmunds. Com Consumer Survey. Subaru and Toyota also led the pack by designing approachable, comfortable car-like vehicles with aesthetic cues inspired by larger, heavier-duty competitors. The Toyota RAV4 and Highlander are other examples of long-running compact SUVs that help define the segment by offering sport utility features without the full-size baggage. CUVs are efficient. SUVs and CUVs are not the inefficient, gas-guzzling monsters they once were. These cars were powered by inefficient V8 engines that couldn't produce enough power to justify their existence. For example, a 1999 Range Rover with the 4.6-liter V8 only had 222 horsepower and 300 pounds-to-foot of torque with abysmal combined fuel consumption of 13 miles per gallon, and this is for a full-size SUV. Nowadays, CUVs have similar engines to hot hatches. These cars are usually powered by a turbocharged 3 or 4-cylinder engine that's plenty powerful and has great fuel economy. With these very efficient engines, crossovers are gentle giants, both to the environment and your pocket. Improved ride quality. SUVs and crossovers of yesteryear weren't very pleasant on the road. They drove like trucks because they were essentially pickup trucks with closed beds. Nowadays, these vehicles have a more car-like construction. Improved technology, change in construction, and better suspensions help these cars drive like passenger cars. While they are still not as comfortable as a luxury sedan, the ride quality of these vehicles is a whole lot better than what they used to be. Because they are very popular, European car buyers choose subcompact crossovers like Peugeot 2008 and Citroën C3 Aircross. Not just because they are better than other cars, but they feel and look a lot bigger than your usual hatchback without costing a lot more, which is very important. Nowadays, our roads are filled with larger cars. SUVs of all sizes dominate the sales in the US, and truck sales aren't slowing anytime soon. SUVs and CUVs are getting more popular all around the world. When most things get bigger all around, especially in a dangerous and fast-paced environment like a highway, the human instinct tells you that you need a bigger car to fit in and be safer. Which drives up the sales numbers. If you enjoyed this video, kindly press the like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe with notifications on, so that you don't miss out on videos like this. Thank you for watching.